Welcome back to another Coffee with Coleman. We'd like to discuss Washington, D.C., business, real estate, all that good stuff.
All that good stuff.
I'm not John Coleman. My name's Jeff Wojcik. I'm a good friend of John's. And I guess I'll turn it over to you to take care of the Coffee with Coleman business.
Definitely. Well, we'd like to talk about real estate, business, all that good stuff, as Jeff said. We're putting together a little piece today of different. Usually we talk a little bit about what's going on in the real estate market. Sometimes it's good for you to know who you're working with in the real estate market. And we thought that this might be a creative way, because we're both fans of Hot Ones.
Yeah.
This is a parody. We do not own the content and the rights.
No, we actually encourage you. We bought the sauces from Hot Ones. John introduced me to Hot Ones at the start of the pandemic. How are you feeling as we sort of look at the wings of death? Or I have cauliflower bites, but you have wings of death.
I feel.
You feel?
I feel. I think the things are going to go.
I kind of love that.
They're going to go the way they're going to go.
Yeah.
And we're going to be very happy with it.
Okay. Can we start with wing one?
We should start with wing one.
What are some things you see your buyers worry about a lot, but actually they don't really need to be? They get a little anxious, but at the end of the day, they're going to be just fine.
I think it's putting together all the pieces of the process of the home buying extravaganza. Like, you come in cold. It's not something that's taught in school. People will tell you stories about it, but you don't know how it translates. You see these horror stories on TV about what's going on, and it's not actually that hard. The important thing is just making sure that you walk through the entire process in full with your team that you're creating to ensure that you kind of know the hurdles that are coming, you know what's going on and what to expect, and that way, when things do pop up, you feel a little bit more prepared to go through it. So it's really the educational piece on the front end, which is a good question because it leads into why Coffee with Coleman was created in the first place, which was to be a one-stop shop for people looking to purchase real estate in the DMV, but also get to know me a little bit more too, because usually when people select a real estate agent, it's because they hope to like him in some, or her, or they, in some respect.
Makes sense to me. Just touched my face. Probably a bad sign.
Bad sign.
Here we go.
Fun. See what happens here. That's better than a Jeff Goldblum bite.
No, this is good. You and I have been getting together for wing nights for 12 years. You and I were actually roommates a long time ago, and not long after we started living together, you started working for the Castles, DC's world tennis team.
Refused to lose.
I got to watch some amazing tennis players in the District of Columbia. How did your experience in professional sports inform your personal and professional life now?
Good question. How did the Castles impact my personal and professional life? So professionally, I would say it was the level of service, and it was the first time that I was really I don't want to call it hands-to-hands combat with clients, because that's not what it is.
Yeah.
But it's learning how to have a little bit more of the high-level expectations, especially since a lot of the clientele that was coming to that ranged from people that sat in the grandstands to people that sat at $6,000 per night tables to kind of hang out. And learning what was expected out of me to be their person to make sure that they had as good of experience as possible, which translated perfect to real estate, because you want to have that white glove service when you're pulling it over.
Certainly.
On a personal level, it's not that I love tennis, because I just haven't played much.
Tennis is hard.
Yeah.
And they put the net in the way. Even without the net, it's very difficult for me.
Very difficult.
But, yeah.
So then personally, I call it the top spin effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love top spin, and slice.
And slice.
They're the
Love
mascots of the Washington Castles.
Absolutely.
And that was one of the coolest experiences I've had from it, and I really enjoyed being out there in the community and interacting with kids and adults. I got to march in the Pride Parade with them one year. It's just about going out there and being enthusiastic about your brand and everything that you're doing, and I feel like we do that with JMG as well, in terms of love being out there, love interacting, love doing fun things with our clients and friends, and we carry that with everything that we do. Let's ball out. Let's listen to some music, kick some tires in some houses, enjoy ourselves. So this time we have, it looks like a naked bunny rabbit. It's called Cadejo. My apologies on pronunciation. Try to find that right moment, that right spot. Oh, no Goldblum.
What are you getting from this one?
I'm not really getting it. There it is.
There it is. You found it?
There it is.
That's good. You haven't just worked in sports. You're a big sports fan. In fact, you played ice hockey for a bit growing up, and I was even a goalie on your street hockey team for a little bit there.
I'm an athlete.
The pandemic disrupted that a bit, and you said you're an athlete. We're now athletes just in other ways, right?
Yep.
Which Peloton instructor do you pick when you are feeling rested, and which Peloton, or when you're trying to feel rested rather, when you're trying to sort of active recovery, and which person do you choose, or which coach do you go with when you want the most out of your workout, when you're ready to just like, maybe you're having a little bit of rage, you're trying to bike it out?
Let's start with when I want to relax a little bit more and I just kind of want to vibe with the music and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For the most part, I'd say Kendall.
Okay.
Because I feel like her vibe with music kind of vibes with what I like to hear, and I'm just kind of chilling and going.
Okay.
If I want to get a little bit more nasty, I think you got to bring Cody into the mix. Cody always kind of gets things rolling and doesn't let up on you. He really grinds into you to make sure that you're going.
Yeah, so like, it's always going to be kind of a novel experience, I feel like, with Cody.
One of the things I really like to do sometimes is, and you'll see this, he tracks me on my apps. I like to do the scenic rides. So
yeah, that's right.
I do. So like, and I usually kind of equate it to places I've either been or am aspiring to go to. And now they have little radio stations to go with it. So if I need like a total reset day, which I need a lot of reset days right now, but if I need a reset day, that's one way to do it.
Ready for wing 4?
Let's go, wing 4.
What do we got there?
Las Calientes Verde.
Verde.
I'm really bad at pronouncing these things, so my apologies.
You just mentioned you do scenic rides on Peloton. And some of the places you like to do are places you've been. You love DC, obviously.
Love DC.
Where have you traveled that is the most similar to the DMV?
The one that naturally stands out is Paris. So, and that's because DC was designed by L'Enfant, who's from France, from Paris, and was involved with stuff over there. So a lot of the circles, a lot of all that stuff, the diagonals, and the
sort of the monument with
all that stuff kind of pulls together. So naturally, that reminds me of that. The other place that comes to mind is naturally London. But it's hard because London's such a grander scale. Like usually it's London and New York that get compared. But it's got that big city vibe that has a little bit of everything, and you have a lot of tourist aspect of it, a lot of sights and sounds, but also a lot of really good food. So like I love the food in London. Like Dishoom had like some of the best Indian food. I feel like DC's got a lot of really good Indian food. You got a lot of really good steak places in DC. Rules is like the oldest restaurant in London, and that one was fantastic. So if I had to equate, plus they speak English, which is a little bit helpful.
Yeah, that's sort of
like it kind of lingers into two. But if I was taking like aesthetics versus kind of like experience, it's kind of a mesh of those two. But DC's like, I always call DC like the little big city. Like it's smaller, but it's big.
5.
Let's do it. We got savory Indian spices on this one. It's a tangy tomato. Got a little off the rails. There we go. The nose starts to. Ooh,
right?
Ooh. Yep.
How fun.
Here we go.
Oh, a little hiccup. There we go.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna do a little this or that. Okay.
Cool.
So, Capitol Hill or Georgetown?
Capitol Hill.
All right. Row house or standalone?
Row house.
Row house. All right. Parking spot or yard?
With the Tesla now, parking spot.
Yeah. All right, taking it back to Ann Arbor. Living on South Division or living over near Oxford, like Hill and Oxford area?
I actually never lived at South Division.
That's
I
right.
pretty much slept there a lot. But I would have to say Oxford. That's where the fraternity was. That's where I had a good time, and that's where the in-house chef was. So.
Solid State or East City books? This is gonna be a tough one for you. I know.
I love both.
Yeah.
My wife loves both. Loves both. But East City has a dog wall where they put the pictures up of the dog wall, and they've done an interview with Coffee with Coleman. And during the pandemic, we partnered with them a little bit during trivia. So I just have a little bit more ingrained with East City.
Tom Brady or Chad Henne?
Tom Brady. was a saucy bite.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I'm not talking about our recent victories over Ohio State, but how do you best survive a stressful Michigan football game? So let's do it. Here we go. Mine has too much on it. I could already tell.
This one kicks in very quickly.
I'm curious about your time in Arizona. How does your experience with desert heat help you? Excuse me. How does your experience with desert heat help you when the temperature goes up in a competition with other buyers in a challenging housing market? As we take the temperature up on these ones.
This one I feel.
Yeah, it's like all mouth.
That's the nice thing. I expected for a more full body experience. So the nice thing about the desert heat was the heat wasn't just in the air. There's a lot of spicy food there too.
Yeah.
And that was like my first trip outside of the Midwest.
Yeah.
So like having a lot of more authentic Southern food and like Mexican food and Tex-Mex style food brought some stuff to my palate. But man, Arizona State, I lived in Manzanita Hall, which was a wild time. The people there were always ready to have fun. There wasn't much school that happened there. Yeah, it was good. I was in really good shape. I had a great tan, but I wasn't learning very much. Looked really good though.
Okay. I'm not sure if I want to like have the most drenched part go to my tongue first or just.
Yes. That one's on impact. As I was saying earlier, the tongue went numb and the lips were tingling. Lips have joined the party.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's good. That's good.
We're good.
What is your proudest Coffee with Coleman moment? Your proudest, and like, I guess, in whatever sense you take it.
We're good. It's one, enhance my ability of public speaking because like I just care a whole lot less now, and I'm very less self-conscious about different things.
Okay.
And I try to encourage even members of our own team to get on camera more. And what I find is my personal advantage is like I'm just me, and like I might not be the handsomest dude in the entire world. That's okay. But like I never stress about getting in front of camera. I'm just always ready to go. Now I want to start vlogging, travel vlogging. Long-term goal is I want to be a travel vlogger. Like I would like to take what I'm learning here, Japan facts, and take that to when I travel. And the nice thing is when I do that to go travel and I learn more about like actual videography and stuff like that, then I take that and I apply it back to the work stuff, and it kind of plays off of one another.
Right. Trying to not touch my face.
Don't touch your face.
Yeah.
Don't touch your face. It gave me Taco Bell vibes. Very relaxing and comforting. Just go at them.
Just go at them. I think I got the back of this one, so I want to be strategic about how I. What are some red flags you see when looking at a place, and how do you help or avoid steering buyers too much or too little, considering homes with sort of clear trouble spots?
The spots that make me the most nervous are generally the spots that are trying to pretend to be what they're not. And what I mean is, it's typically with like a flipped house that like looks really pretty and like is really done up and ready to go, and so you're expecting you're getting one product and then later on. So it's helping people understand the core components of like what we're seeing of shoddy workmanship on the front side, and explaining that it's almost like a cockroach. Like you see one, there's probably more going on.
Yeah.
And deciding of like, was that a blip on the radar, or is that a shot across the bow of like, I'd rather get like a grandma's house that's been standing for a long time that you can update it, but it's been standing and doing what it's supposed to do, as opposed to somebody that very poorly put like 30,000 parts together for the first time and didn't do it very well.
Yeah, I hear that.
So it's walking through what that looks like. And then from there, it's just everything can get fixed with the price tag. And if it's, if we can get them the information they need to make a decision, then that's where you go with it.
Sounds good.
It's hot.
Yeah. For me, I can't get it off my tongue. Like I don't want it on my tongue anymore. Yeah.
What are you feeling right now?
Have you ever smoked weed? So it's almost like I've moved more into my head in the moment, and like it's less around me.
Oh,
Is that a good? That was a very high answer in its own.
Yeah.
So
Just never had the occasion to.
I'm not very good at it. I'm better at wings.
I mean, my buddy did. He told me what it's like.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, yeah.
Same. Totally. He's a DE agent, so no, I'm kidding.
Yeah, this has been an operation the entire time.
Here we go.
I like it. It's good. I'm serious.
Why
Go
are you,
for it.
Why are you dying?
No. There you go. How have you grown in coaching agents? In other words, how has your own development gone? And what advice would you give to someone coming into this industry, coming into your industry, about sort of mentorship and how that's sort of supported your stuff?
Naturally, people get into this business because, and this is what I got a lot when I got into this business too, is like, you're great with people. People like you. That's what you need to do. And that's very important. There's two key functions that people need to understand if they're actually getting this business. Is first of all, the hardest thing to do is find clients, hands down. And that's something that everybody overlooks. And that's probably about you're right when you talk.
Yeah.
That's about 70% of the business, I'd say. The other 30%, you're starting to sweat a little bit.
We're getting there.
It's understanding and doing it for the right reasons. Agents get paid when transactions close.
Right.
And that's an understandable concept. It's a commission-based business, and I get that. Difficult thing about that is it's too easy for some people to want to massage deals through that maybe shouldn't go through.
Right. It creates pressure to do that.
Yeah. And especially someone in the beginning of their career, it could be the difference of you making a mortgage payment on your own place that month or something like that.
Sure.
And that's a stressful place to be in. At the end of the day, when you're sitting there, you have to make sure that when you're thinking about the decisions that your clients have to be making, understanding they know all the pros and cons of what that looks like. But also, like in their heart, asking themselves if they're doing the best thing in the moment for that person that's entrusted in them.
That sounds good. Look at you.
Look at me.
10 wings up, 10 wings down. We did
it.
Amazing.
We did it. Guys, thanks so much for watching this, and thanks for Jeff and Kim and Bronson for putting this all together. The reason for this entire video is the continued reason of this channel, which is continuing to fill you in on things that I'm thinking about, but do it in a way that is a lot of fun, and doing it in a way that makes it relatable to you, and doing it in a way where it helps educate you as well. And so as I'm coming up with a new video where people can learn about me and what it's like to be me, this is it. Hot wings, Michigan football, let's go.